I am told over and over by the Republicans, including this guy we're going to tell you about, Steve Curtis, that the Democrats do voter fraud. Oh, voter fraud running rampant. When you ask them for evidence of voter fraud, they can hardly point to any cases at all. Even people in deeply red states, when asked to show voter fraud, simply couldn't do it. So it turns out, though, to be fair to them, there are some cases of voter fraud, which brings us to Mr. Curtis. The former chairman of the Colorado GOP, according to Law and Crime, was sentenced Friday for falsifying his ex-wife's absentee ballot. Steve Curtis, 57, must serve 4 years of probation and perform 300 hours of community service for voter fraud and forgery, according to a statement from the Weld County District Attorney. We found voter fraud. It turns out it's the chairman of the Colorado GOP who was doing it. Now get a load of his background. Curtis served as chairman of the Colorado GOP from 97 to 99. He went on to become a radio show host with KLZ 560 AM, conservative talk radio. And on that show, he said, quote, "Virtually every case of voter fraud I can remember in my lifetime was committed by Democrats. Am I onto something here, or do I just not have the facts?" I'm pretty sure you do have the facts. You know that you committed voter fraud, but you said things like that anyway. And what do I tell you about Republicans? It's always projection. Whatever they think they want to do, they project onto liberals. Oh, they all get funded by rich liberal donors. Some might, most do not. They get funded by rich conservative donors like Rush Limbaugh, being funded by the Koch brothers, Heritage Foundation, etc., posing as ads. Oh, the liberals are snowflakes who get triggered by benign things. Oh my God, there's a war on Christmas because somebody said happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Snowflakes. I can go on. And in this case, oh, look at the Democrats doing voter fraud, when in fact that guy himself is doing voter fraud. Well, what was his excuse for doing obvious, blatant voter fraud? Get a load of this. Steve Curtis claimed he had a diabetic blackout the night it happened and couldn't remember doing it. Yeah, I think that's how diabetic blackouts work. Hey, I'm gonna fill out intricate forms on voter registration for my wife in the middle of a blackout. Yeah, probably. It turns out, no, convicted and sentenced. Here's what the prosecutor said. Bottom line, he has absolutely no respect for the law, which, by the way, could also describe Republicans. We're for the rule of law, unless it's Donald Trump, in which case we're going to fire every prosecutor investigating him. They never meant any of it. See, for progressives, rule of law means fairness, justice. Can we get the victims justice, but can we also be fair to the defendants? Makes sense. It's the Department of Justice. It's justice that we seek. We seek to bring people to justice, right? For conservatives, rule of law just means instituting our power over others. It doesn't actually mean justice. It means we're in charge, so we get to set the rules. So over and over again, whether it's Donald Trump or a guy like Steve Curtis, when they don't like the law, they just ignore it. Well, it turns out if you're not the president and you don't have all the Republican representatives defending you and all the Republican donors defending you, you're a guy like Steve Curtis and you break the law, there are consequences, and he has met them. And we have found voter fraud, we have met voter fraud, and it is a former Republican chair. You just watched a video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. tytnetwork.com/join.